Hello and welcome to our special program, To The Point. The first attempt at trying to build an Islamic bank was way back in 1963 in Egypt, and the entire concept of phenomena of Islamic banking has come a long way from there. Today we have with us a special guest, Dr. Ahmed Mohammed Ali, President of Islamic Development Bank from Saudi Arabia. So welcome to our show.
Thank
and
you.
Welcome to our country as well.
Thank you very much.
First of all, we would like to know is, what is the concept of Islamic banking?
First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be in your program and to talk to your audiences. Islamic banking actually is just another way of doing banking. It has certain elements which we think is very important, not only for the countries who are now practicing it, but also for the whole world. Because this sort of banking, it is close to the real economy. So it has means to be really able to face a number of challenges and problems of the global financial crisis. As you know, in the last global financial crisis, the Islamic banking institutions were less affected than the others. They were more resilient to the effect of the global financing. The main reason is that there is less speculation in Islamic banking, and it is very close to the real economy, the real operations of the economy, whether it is industry, agriculture, trade, so it is close to the real economy.
You said there is less speculation, and as far as I could gather, Islamic banking is based on Sharia laws. Can you just throw some more light on exactly what can be done in Islamic banking and what cannot be done in Islamic banking?
Of course, first of all, in Islamic banking, we do not deal with interest. It is an non-interest based
riba. It's known as riba
economy. That's right. So this is one thing. Another thing, as I mentioned to you, it deals with the real economy. So we don't speculate. That's why, as I mentioned before, Islamic banking is has more really to give for the global restructuring of banking. We think, of course, we are not advocating that Islamic banks to replace the conventional bank. We're not advocating that. We're only saying that there are elements in Islamic banking which can contribute to the restructuring of the global banking system, which make it, we hope inshallah, more resilient for the future global crisis.
Okay, great. And what role is Islamic Development Bank playing out here?
Now, first of all, Islamic Development Bank is an international organization. It started in 1975 with 22 countries only. Now we have 56 member countries almost all over the world. And the main mission of IDB is to enhance economic development and social progress in its member countries as well as Muslim communities in non-member countries. That's why IDB for the last 30 years is cooperating with the Muslim community in India through providing assistance to educational institutions. Also, we have a scholarship program. More than 3,900 students benefited from this program. About 2,900 something have been already graduated as engineers and doctors. So my mission here, I was invited by the graduates of IDB scholarship program to celebrate the 30th anniversary of IDB activities and cooperation with Muslim community in India.
Well, I'm sure it must have been a wonderful experience being a part of that particular program, and as you rightly mentioned, celebrating 30 years of IDB's collaboration with India's Muslim community. We'll definitely talk about the Islamic banking in India, but before that, just to get an overview of how, as you pointed out, how Islamic banking is different from the conventional banking. What about the regulatory mechanism? Because as far as conventional banking is concerned, there is a regulatory mechanism which is based on banking supervisories, BCBS. What about Islamic banking mechanism?
Okay, there are many schools. In some countries, they issue a special law for Islamic banking. In other countries, they make some amendments to the existing rules. So all it can work. It depends on the desire and the decision of the lawmakers. So there are many alternatives. And I think it is so flexible that each country can choose whatever they want. Like what happened now in India now, because the banking system may not allow the normal Islamic bank activity, but already you gave lessons to a bank in Kerala to operate in non-banking financial institutions. And this what started in Turkey. Some other countries also, they have sort of non-interest banking within the prevailing system. So I think we can start, if anybody want in India, to start doing non-interest banking within the laws and legal system of India, until, of course, this matter could be solved in other way.
Oh, well, let's for that we'll have to wait and watch and find out exactly as to how things will go. But then that's a wonderful information which you're giving us. We'll take a short break out here, but when we come back, we'll definitely ask you about the challenges before the Islamic banking, or the entire concept or the phenomenon of Islamic banking. It's not that it is new, but it's not a very old concept. If you look at it in terms of commercial establishment, not very old, as well. As I was mentioning, first attempt was made in 63. Then I guess in 70s in Saudi Arabia only the first bank was started. So we'll come back and ask you as to what exactly are the challenges before the concept of Islamic banking. But before that, let's take a short break.
Islamic banking is not confined to Muslims alone. There are many people, not Muslims, who are interested in Islamic banking.
Welcome back. President of Islamic Development Bank, Dr. Ali is still with us. Sir, coming to the challenges before the Islamic banking. Now, it is being viewed by the experts that in general, Islamic banks have performed almost as good as the conventional banks, and this despite the fact that there are some self-imposed regulations in Islamic banking. Some of them you mentioned in the first half of the program. But then my question is that given the infrastructural issues and given the partnership dimensions as far as Islamic banking is concerned, don't you think that Islamic banks will have to go one extra yard to keep a close watch on their investors?
Yeah, of course, there are a lot of challenges. Islamic Development Bank, as you know, this coming year, the Islamic Development Bank will celebrate its 40th anniversary. This means it is almost 40 years in operation. IDB did face these challenges, but we were able to handle it. Of course, the proof of that, IDB now is a AAA rated agency by all the 3 international rating agencies. What does it mean? This means IDB been able to overcome all these challenges of Islamic banking. In my judgment, really, the main challenges we are facing the industry now is liquid management. Because short-term managing the liquidity, it is a challenge for Islamic banking. Another thing also, to have a reference to the industry. IDB is trying to help the industry mainly in these 2 major challenges: the managing of liquidity in short term, second, having a reference for the industry. Because as you know, each Islamic bank has its own Sharia committee, and there are different views, and this is creating some sort of problems for the industry. But I am confident that the Islamic Development Bank, with cooperation with other institutions like IUFI and others who are helping the industry, we will be able to overcome these challenges.
So basically the major challenge is to bring in a homogeneity in the operations across all Islamic banks, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, to have a kind of reference to the fatwas and the opinion expressed by the different Sharia committees in the different banks. We are building now a very important Sharia committee in IDB group in order to be in the service of the industry.
Okay, great. One of the major concepts, if I'm not wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong, behind Islamic banking was to go ahead and help the poorest of the poor as well as needy, to provide them with the opportunity to have better life in some way or the other. That's what exactly was one of the main objectives was. Now, it seems, and this is based on facts, I'll quote facts from different research and studies as well. It seems that Islamic finance institutions in one way or the other have lost or have gone astray from that main objective. The reason why I'm saying is, and let me quote out here, a latest research whose findings were out in July 2013. This was conducted by Al Huda Center of Excellence in Islamic Microfinance. It says the global volume of Islamic microfinance has reached $1 billion. Total number of Islamic microfinance institutions is more than 300 operating around the globe, but the share of Islamic microfinance is less than 1% from the overall volume of $1.3 trillion of Islamic finance industry. Why is that so, one? And two, how do you plan to address that? Because since Islamic Development Bank is just like a World Bank to the Islamic financing organizations all across the world.
Yes, you see, microfinancing is being developed in Islamic microfinancing. But we have a very successful stories. And IDB now, after the global financial crisis, there is a lot of demand on IDB to give more technical assistance for different issues relating to the Islam, including the microfinancing. We are working on that, and hopefully we will be able to overcome it. As I mentioned to you, the industry has a number of challenges. We are working on that. We are not at the end of the road, but I am confident that with the cooperation with sister institutions, we can develop in this and we can correct this. We want that Islamic banking to be involved more in developmental financing. This is not coming now. There is a lot of emphasis on short-term financing, which is not really the real message of Islamic banking. So hopefully in the coming few years we can overcome these problems and we help the industry in order to have more interest and more emphasis on developmental activities. In order there will be a role for IDB in the development and helping the least. But one advantage, of course, of Islamic banking, it is attracting many people who are away from the banking system. This is very important. Yes. See, many people, they want Islamic banking in order to deal with the banking system. Many of them now, they are out of the banking system. This is not in their advantage, not in the advantage of the countries where they are living. So I think one message from IDB that please help those people to be included, to include them in the banking system of the country, and that through providing them with this alternative.
Okay, great. Since IDB is the umbrella organization, if I must say so, and it has 56 member countries, most of them OIC nations, I would like to point out something out here in, sort of supplementary to my previous question, is that I was looking at, certain other figures with regards to poverty ratios. 26 out of 57 OIC countries have been termed poorest of the poor by the United Nations. 46% of the world's population is Muslim, but the overall percentage of the Muslim population is 26%. So how important do you think is going to be IDB's role, one, and Islamic banking's role, two, in tackling this problem?
Yeah, as you know, Islamic banking is not confined to Muslims alone. There are many people, not Muslims, who are interested in Islamic banking. As I said in the very beginning, it is just another mode of doing banking industry system. So it is not involved only for Muslims. But we think that the spreading of Islamic banking will invite a good number of people who are now away from the banking system to to come to the banking system. And we think this will make a difference in the future, not only for these people, as I mentioned, but for all the countries where they live and for the banking industry as a whole. I am talking now for the banking industry as a whole, Islamic and non-Islamic.
And conventional.
Because it is our duty as bankers to serve our clients. And there are certain clients who are interested in this mode of financing, so it is our duty to make it available to them in order we can include them in the banking system, not only of the countries, but of the world, globally speaking.
That's great, wonderful. In the next segment, I'm going to ask you about the future of Islamic banking in India and Islamic Development Bank's role in furthering that particular concept in our country, given the fact that it is yet to get a nod. But before that, let's take a short break out here.
If India or any other country, they can issue a sukuk, definitely they can mobilize a lot of resources.
Welcome back. Dr. Ali, the president of Islamic Development Bank, is still with us. Sir, coming back to our country, that's India.
Yes, a great country.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And not only from my side, but from the entire country.
I am happy to be here.
Let's talk about the concept of Islamic banking in India. Now, there are certain regulatory issues. Yes. If you look at the regulation acts, there are certain regulation acts in our country which prohibits or rather obstructs the setting up of Islamic banks in the country. But very recently, a permission has been given by Reserve Bank of India to KSIDC to set up a non-banking financial company. Do you think this is the first baby step our country has taken?
Yes, I believe. I think this is a very important step, and this will open the door, and it comes within really the essence of Islamic banking, because those who will participate in this company, they will not be as depositors, but will be as partners and also shareholders of this company. So I think it will do the same service, and it is in the essence it will work. For example, there is a request to establish for Hajj fund or like Tabun Hajji in Malaysia to serve the people to save in order to go for Hajj. I think this door is open now for them, and now there will be no obstacle if they want to establish such a fund in order to benefit from the experience of Malaysia. And IDB will be happy really to cooperate in this and also to give any technical assistance required for that.
Okay. Experts also say that in not allowing the setting up of Islamic banks, India is also incurring a huge opportunity cost. Is that so?
I cannot answer directly, but I can say the following. Of course, now there are many resources available. And one of the very successful ways and means is the sukuk. I mean, if India or any other country, they can issue a sukuk, definitely they can mobilize a lot of resources. We have the example of Turkey just a few months ago. As you know, they issued sukuk. They wanted to mobilize $1 billion. They got subscription of over $7 billion. Oh,
that's a huge amount.
Yes.
That's 7 times the
Yes, 7
requirement.
times. Okay, so what does this mean? This means there is a market for the sukuk. IDB itself, 2 months ago also we issued our last sukuk. Every year now we are issuing sukuk. Also we mobilized about $1 billion from international market. So we had subscribers from East Asia, subscribers from Europe, subscribers from America. So there is a market. I think this market could be utilized by India and other countries.
And let's not forget the kind of shared cooperation institution-wise which can happen between India and Middle East countries and Southeast Asian countries. Is that
globally? Middle East, this is a global market, and sukuk also is not only, I think, useful to attract investors from outside India, but also inside. sukuk could be issued internally, and you can mobilize
Are you talking
resources.
about, are you also including Indian expats in that? Those who've been living in Middle East countries, the remittances which have been coming in from them?
Even those outside and inside, because many people who are now away from the banking system, they find a way and means to can include them, and you can attract their savings.
Okay,
this
great.
is a lot of money.
Okay, great. That's a wonderful example. Before we bring an end to this wonderful discussion, what would be your piece of advice to the Indian government or those who indulge in policy making in this country to go ahead and move one more step closer to the concept of Islamic banking?
You see, I am not in a position to give advice to everybody. The only thing I can say that IDB is providing its technical assistance everywhere. Even we signed agreement with IMF in order, and the IDB allocated amount of money to give technical assistance to any country in the world who want to know more about Islamic banking. The same last October I signed with the World Bank. Also, there are many countries demanding to know more about Islamic banking. So we're happy to give technical assistance, but we are not in a place to give advice to everybody. Really.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being with us on this short duration, short visit, I must say, to our country, which you had. So this was the President of Islamic Development Bank, Dr. Ahmed Mohammed Ali, having a freewheeling discussion with us on the concept of Islamic banking. We'll come back next week with a different personality on a different topic. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.